This one. Funny, Jason, you were talking about how people. This is Nimrut in Turkey, by the way. It's on top of a mountain, huge mound. I'll put that picture on now. This one here, you see it in the background. And there's apparently is that the burial of Nimrod? Apparently under there. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
I don't know.
I'm not
I don't
sure.
know.
But it's something you were talking about when I spoke to you last time. Um, you were talking about how everybody will seem to sort of migrate back to this area around Egypt, Turkey, maybe. So, guess I'm leaving the UK in about 3-4 weeks on my boat, and guess where I'm going? I'm going to that part of the world, mate. So yeah, I'm sailing there. So,
So you're
but yeah,
going
I
you're
just what's that?
you're going to Hattusis and uh are you going to the
Uh,
ancient sites in Turkey?
Well, yeah, well, I will be. Yeah, so I'm going to start another documentary channel. I'm actually in YouTube jail right now. I'm out of jail tomorrow. But yeah, I'm gonna sail my boat there. I did scuba diving, so I'm gonna go get a GoPro. I'm gonna do some underwater filming. Because there's a lot. Apparently, there's a lot. I do scuba, right? And apparently, you're not allowed to scuba dive on your own without a Turkish scuba diving accompanying you because of people taking stuff off the seafloor,
Yeah.
artifacts and stuff. So yeah, I'll be heading to like Malta, Turkey, Egypt, um, even like North Syria as well, probably a little bit. So it's going to be an interesting time over the next year. I just thought I'd mention that to you.
Yeah, I would love to go to Turkey. They got the
Yeah,
Turkey is absolutely rich in archaeological material. It's yeah, but I mean everything is going to be restricted since the days of Ron Wyatt, who did a bunch of excavations in Turkey and all that. They've hammered down on that. You're not going to go in there and do any digging, exploring. Yeah, you're going to be escorted everywhere you go, and that tells me they have a lot to hide. They're not just trying to preserve ancient relics and Turkish relics and all that. They're not. It's the
it's
area. The
it's
area has been. Go ahead.
It's interesting you mention that because I've talked to the Rise Above crew. You must go on their show as well. I sort of work with another YouTube channel, Rise Above. They do a weekly show every Friday, 9 o'clock. It's really good. But they were talking, well, we were talking about conflict zones all over the world and how a lot of conflict zones are in very interesting countries where they contain a lot of artifacts. Syria, Babylon, um, all down that region, Iraq, Iran. There's a lot of historic sites there. It's
Well,
interesting.
it was really interesting to me to find out just how much the U.S. military was involved in the removal of Iraqi artifacts. It was like
Gilgamesh.
since when does a military
Mm,
operation go to secure all that before you even secured the city, before you've done
mm,
anything, you've gone in there and
yeah.
sent
It
actual
there
Delta
was
Force extraction units in
yeah
there to take out artifacts. That was shocking to me when I
yeah.
found that out. It
I,
was
I
like,
also looked in. I know a bit about this actually. It was a museum in Baghdad, wasn't it? The Museum of Antiquities or something of
yeah,
Iraq. And apparently the 5,000 items went missing, and I think I can't the number I don't know exactly. It was about 3,180 something were returned. So there was like 1,800 items just not returned. Like you say, they were looking for something. I even had a bit about you know the story about the Navy SEAL team that was they got trapped in a cave in Afghanistan by a giant apparently. Um, I've heard this story anyway, and yeah, they sent another team in. This is 2003, I think. Um, and yeah, the first team apparently were killed. This giant could move so quickly, six-fingered, six-toed, red haired, apparently. Um, and then the second SEAL team went in. They did eventually take him down, but apparently they took the giant. There's several whistleblower accounts from one of the SEAL teams talking about it and how they apparently took the giant away and how it apparently woke up on the plane. But is that fiction or not? We don't know. It's interesting
oh,
that.
how it woke up on the plane. I don't know. See, I
Yeah.
mean, this is This is
misinformation. I don't know.
well, I can't call it misinformation. I can't say that it didn't happen. I mean, the world is a very mysterious place and it's compartmentalized. There are things that exist below us far in the underworld that for which we don't have a lot. Of course, they could all be human. They could be human hybrids. They could be genetic modified humans. I don't know, but I do know that from the historical record, we have many incidents of red-haired giants and six-fingered giants. I even have in my own book. I have an unpublished book on giants. I have a published book on giants, but then I also have an unpublished book on giants, and I reference all these things. My unpublished book on giants is called Forgotten Earth, and it's on Gumroad. I should have published it a long time ago. There's just not enough hours in a day. I got too many irons in the fire. I think I got like 11 unpublished books on there. One of these days, I just need to get them all out, edit them, and get them all out. But my published book, Giants on Ancient Earth, I discussed that like in 1999 or 2000. There were excavations going on here in the United States, and all of a sudden, they found a bunch of burials with textiles that were very advanced. We're talking about the thread count was astonishing, and the archaeologists were trying to figure out how in the hell could they make clothes like this long ago. And they had 6 fingers on their hands and 6 toes on their feet, and there were red-headed mummified giants found right here in Texas, and or Colorado, Colorado, somewhere here in the United States. You know, I have all the sources backed up in the book, but it's very interesting. So it was such a mystery to find. We're talking about 7.5 to 8 foot tall humans that had these brilliant textiles, and they weren't found with weaponry. They weren't found with any of that. They were found with art. So and these clothing, but when the proper authorities were contacted, universities were contacted. Hey man, we have a genuine find. All that. Other scientists and archaeologists are not who showed up. The FBI showed up with the State Department and did a shakedown, and they shook down their vehicles, their cars. They strip searched everybody. They made them sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. Man, escorted them off the premises, and no one knows what happens to any of that shit.